Man, all these undercover detectives in here makes me uncomfortable. Good morning, everyone. Everybody ready? This morning I'm proud to announce that the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office has saved a true victim of human trafficking. And individuals who sought to have sex with a minor are now off the streets here in Hillsborough County. These individuals who we arrested are truly the worst of the worst. They were either actively selling sex with another human being or seeking to have sex with a child. As most of you are aware, this past year our efforts to target those who prey on others through Operation Trade Secrets 1 and 2 led to the arrest of 109 people. Your Sheriff's Office is committed to taking a proactive approach to identifying and helping victims of human trafficking and cutting off the demand. Our efforts never stopped after those operations ended. I can promise you, we will not stop targeting human trafficking until we put a stop to this despicable crime here in our community. The 4 men you see beside me were each arrested during a 2-day operation in mid-December at an undisclosed location off Highway 301 and Interstate 4. Undercover detectives exchanged messages with these men over an internet prostitution website and an online app that some use to communicate with minors anonymously. 36-year-old Andres Dario Bentacor and 40-year-old Rudy Siam each thought they were talking to a 14-year-old boy online and traveled to have sex with him. 56-year-old Timothy John Matthews and 58-year-old Carl Franklin Bergman believed they were communicating with a 14-year-old female. Bergman even offered to pay the teenage girl $100 if she agreed to meet him in person. When our undercover detectives met up with Bergman, they found a bag inside his car with a concealed firearm and a condom. Who knows what his plans were that day? Or what could have happened if a real 14-year-old girl had encountered Bergman before our detectives did. Each of these men were arrested and are now facing charges that include traveling to meet a minor for sex. These cases should serve as a reminder for parents to monitor their children's online activity. Know what websites they are visiting. Look at the apps on their phone. And don't be afraid to ask who they are talking to. It's not an invasion of privacy. It's our duty and responsibility as parents to protect them from predators like these men. I'd now like to direct your attention to the photo of 28-year-old Paige Ashley Freed. You're looking at the face of a human trafficker. On December 4th, we came into contact with an 18-year-old human trafficking victim during a traffic stop on East Adamo Drive, south of Falkenberg Road. Our detectives, while conducting another operation at a nearby hotel, observed multiple men going to and from a room that the young victim and Freed then left. After developing probable cause, they conducted a traffic stop and arrested Freed for possession of illegal drugs. The victim also had an outstanding warrant for her arrest for grand theft, so she was also taken into custody. It's very likely that this arrest saved her life. Once in custody, the 18-year-old woman told deputies she was being held against her will by Freed, and that she only felt comfortable saying something once she was separated from her captor. Freed was found to be in possession of the victim's debit card, which according to the victim allowed Freed to maintain control over her. Our detectives learned that from October 20th to December 4th, Freed used force, fraud, and coercion to manipulate the victim to perform sexual acts at various locations within our community. Freed would organize the encounters by posting sexual advertisements about the victim on adult escort websites. Freed communicated with buyers, or Johns, to arrange sexual acts with the victim in exchange for money. According to the victim, Freed kept all the money gained from these encounters. Despite knowing the victim contracted a sexually transmitted disease, Freed continued forcing the victim to perform sexual acts. She even forced her to ingest narcotics to stay awake longer, to work more. I can't emphasize enough that this 18-year-old young woman is the textbook definition of a human trafficking victim. Thanks to her having the courage to speak up, Freed is now in jail facing a felony charge of human trafficking, and our victim is receiving help to get her life back. We have connected her with resources through Selah Freedom, a human trafficking organization. I want anyone who is watching today to hear this message. If you are needing help, please do not be afraid of coming forward to law enforcement. We are here to help, not to judge or re-victimize. If you know someone or you think someone is a victim of human trafficking, please call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. If you don't know how to spot a victim of human trafficking, we've posted the public service announcement you see playing beside me on all of our HCSO Sheriff social media outlets. And this will certainly help to explain what symptoms to look for. Watch it, share it with your friends and family. The more we increase in awareness about human trafficking, the more lives we can save. I'll now take any questions anyone may have.
What was the relationship between Freed and his victim? How did they meet? Did they know each other? Were they related in some way?
Unfortunately, our victim aged out of the foster care system and started hanging out with the wrong people. And I think she found that sense of security she was looking for, as dysfunctional as it was, through Freed. And Freed exploited that and took advantage of that for her own profit.
So this started when she turned 18?
Correct.
Was there any one thing that led to this operation? Was there some tip that you got that started you to want to look into this, or was it just something you wanted to do?
Yeah, this is something we continued since after the last Super Bowl, and we saw how egregious the human trafficking was surrounding that event. We know we wanted to be preventative, and we certainly understand that enforcement and being aggressively enforcing human trafficking is one small part of it. We're focusing on the prevention side, the awareness and the education, and certainly helping a lot of the victims working with the treatment side of it, and this is the enforcement side. So this is not going to stop. You know, we're going to continue to do this and do operations on a daily basis. The undercover detectives, unfortunately, who you can't put on camera, these are the true heroes. The ones standing behind you, they come to work every day. They work crazy hours, they work weekends, they work holidays, because human trafficking and eradicating human trafficking is a passion that they share. They're out there every day doing whatever it takes to stop this heinous crime.
Sure. Go ahead.
There must be a fine line that you guys have to walk because, even just last year, we had a lot of people on Facebook talking about human trafficking, saying, that they were targeted in a grocery store and this and that, and it just never really proved to be actual truth. So what's the fine line that you have to walk to say, yes, this is a problem in our community, but we don't want to scare everybody. We don't want everyone to think that everyone's a victim or a potential victim.
Yeah, I agree. Even the last year we've been working as diligently as we have. This is our 7th victim of human trafficking. Some of them have gone back, refused to prosecute, and gone back to the person who was trafficking them, for whatever that reason may be. I'm certainly not judging them, but I agree. I don't think that we need to stop sending our kids to school and that none of us can work because we're going to be trafficked. That's not the message I'm trying to send. What I'm trying to send is one too many. And we know that there may be others in our community, and I think it's incumbent upon your law enforcement agency, your sheriff's office, to make sure that if there's a victim out there who wants to be saved, that we're there to help that person.
Can you tell us a little bit more about you said that they were spotted leaving a hotel, or there was activity at the hotel and then the traffic stop. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, they were working the hotel-motel operation as part of monitoring Johns in areas where they know that are known for prostitution. They saw a gentleman go into the hotel room where Freed and our trafficking victim was, stopped him, and he admitted that he had paid Freed to have sex with the young girl inside the room. So I think that's what helped them identify and knew that, okay, listen, our suspicions are validated here. So they waited for them to leave, saw that the car did a traffic violation. Here's our opportunity. Made the traffic stop. The two people up front were released, the driver and the front passenger. There was nothing to charge them with. But Freed had some methamphetamine on her in the back seat, and then when they stopped the car, they immediately saw our trafficking victim. They very fearful of law enforcement. She wasn't allowed to answer her own questions. Some of the main symptoms and identifiers that we continue to say that someone else had control of her life. So once they separated her, as they become more accustomed to dealing with victims of human trafficking, we're able to find out that she was a true human trafficking victim.
Can you talk about if it's odd or unusual to have a woman human trafficker? Is that normal? Is it normally been?
This is not normal. Our detectives and all of us have heard that females are involved in trafficking other females. We've never seen it. So far, we've seen stepfather, we've seen ex-boyfriends, we've seen some male gang members that are profiting off these women. We have heard about it. We've heard the rumor that women can also traffic. This is the first time we've seen it.
Any other questions?
Rod, you want to go and say last question?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.